With 10 title defenses and 16 straight wins, Anderson Silva's UFC middleweight reign from 2006 to 2012 was nothing short of legendary.
Anderson was a very exciting fighter, most exciting fighter in UFC that time. No one was like even close. No one.
In his prime, the Spider was an absolute nightmare for the 185-pound division, as he sent some of the world's best fighters to the Shadow Realm with his next-level striking and fight IQ.
Anderson Silva, when he was like 30 to 32, woo!
It's going. I remember that. Longest reign.
You would watch him, you just like put your hands to your head and go, gee.
The Brazilian was indeed a scary individual, but what those who shared the cage with him, or saw him from up close, really think about his skills?
He is tough. Like he doesn't give up. He doesn't just go away. And most guys aren't. Most guys aren't better than everyone else and tougher. Because you don't have to be. You only have to be one of the two. And Fedor was that way. John Jones is that way. St. Pierre was that way. And Anderson Silva.
We'll start off with Chael Sonnen, the man who arguably gave Silva the most amount of adversity inside the cage. The American almost beat Silva in the first fight, but was choked out late in the 5th round. In the second fight, he was knocked out in the second round, and in their boxing match in 2024, Silva improved to 3-0 against his noisy rival. According to Chael, there are a number of reasons why Silva stands out among the other stars.
Another thing that people don't know about Anderson Silva, he was so well known for being dynamic. You show me, we'll use MMA terms, you show me a 5th round that Anderson's ever lost. When it comes down to conditioning and heart, you show me a 5th round that he's ever lost, and that includes against Nick Diaz, who's known for pace. He's got the movements and the speed and the highlight reels knockouts. He's also got a grit and a toughness.
After years of dominating guys like Chael, Damian Maia, Rich Franklin, Forrest Griffin, Stefan Bonnar, and Vitor Belfort, Silva's reign finally came to an end when he faced a young and hungry Chris Weidman, who made the legend pay for showboating with a devastating knockout. In their rematch, Silva broke his leg, and he was never the same again. Yet. For his two-time opponent, Silva was like locking horns with a mythical figure.
He was like a mythical figure. Being able to share the octagon with him is, a true blessing, and I was honored to do it. And he brought so much to the table. It wasn't just his technical, attributes. It was the mental side of it. The way he would, make you feel like there's nothing you could do to him. And no matter what you hit him with, he was still there and looking at you like that nothing hurt him. The guy was truly, just great for the sport.
In Silva's prime, he was linked to a super fight with welterweight GOAT Georges St. Pierre, and for reasons unknown, the fight never happened. Nevertheless, there's still a lot of respect between the two, as GSP considers Silva the GOAT, point blank.
Anderson is probably the best who ever do it. He's just incredible. He fought like he was in the Matrix. He's got the best highlight in UFC.
GSP isn't alone in thinking that Silva is the GOAT. Michael Bisping, who faced off against Silva a few years after his prime in 2016, also felt that undeniable GOAT energy.
And Anderson Silva is one of the greatest martial artists that the human race has ever seen. He is a modern day Bruce Lee. I'm telling you, Anderson Silva truly is one of the greatest of all time, and that is just a fact. That is the reason that when I fought this man, when I fought Anderson Silva, I left no stone unturned. I was the most disciplined that I was in any training camp. I always wanted to fight Anderson when he was the champ and when he lost the belt, and I finally got a chance to face him. Still, for me, that was my world championship.
Now, Bisping is a hard man to impress, and if there was any fight where he showed the most discipline, it was against Silva. That speaks volumes about the respect he had for the Spider and his craft. In fact, Bisping hasn't wavered in his admiration. Even as Israel Adesanya began to be hailed as the middleweight GOAT by many, Bisping remained firmly seated on the Silva bandwagon.
Anderson Silva is ahead on all the numbers. Knockouts, wins, defenses, length of time, all the rest of it, it all points towards Anderson Silva. And I think he's got the better style so far, right? The last style bender is incredible to watch, but the way that Anderson Silva would dispose of his opponents was legendary back in the day.
Even Israel Adesanya has nothing but high praise for his idol. Izzy himself believes Silva is unmatched when it comes to weaving a web of tricks inside the octagon to outsmart his opponents.
I love Silva. He's cool, and he's a humble dude, genuine dude as well. But when it comes to war, he's a savage. He's from the streets, bro. You gotta remember, this guy's from the streets, from the favelas. He don't give a fuck. He's a crafty dude. He's a spider. He'll fucking lure you into the web. False sense of security. That's one thing he's good at. I've seen him do it for years.
Joe Rogan agrees with Adesanya's assessment, as he thinks Silva's dominance came from his impeccable fight IQ. According to Rogan, Silva's brilliance wasn't just in his physical abilities, but in his timing. He always knew exactly when to attack and when to step back.
Anderson was not just really fucking good, but also really smart. He just knew when he could hit you, and he knew when you could hit him, and he would take his time.
Silva was always one of the finest boxers in MMA, and his knowledge of fundamentals, his footwork, as well as his timing helped him smoothly transition to boxing in 2021 after leaving the UFC. Tyron Woodley agrees with that sentiment. He said, "Anderson Silva's a good boxer. I would say he's one of the best boxers in MMA. I feel like I've got a bias to say Jorge Masvidal is the best boxer that we've ever seen in the MMA, but Silva is up there with a few other guys for just pure boxing." Silva already had a boxing record of a win and a loss when he returned to the ring in 2021, facing a veteran in the form of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who Silva beat rather comfortably to secure a huge victory. A few months later, Silva knocked out Tito Ortiz in just 40 seconds. And guess who was the first man to shower praise on him? Yeah, Dana White.
Anderson Silva beat Chavez Jr. Tito took big shots from a lot of guys who hit hard. Anderson Silva knocked him out in 40 seconds. Anderson Silva might actually be the GOAT of combat sports. I mean, to still compete, it'll be interesting to see.
Dana wasn't the only one to point out Silva's brutal knockout power. Tito Ortiz felt it both figuratively and literally, taking it right on the chin.
I've never been clipped like that. Even Liddell didn't even clip me that bad. That was a good punch. He caught me with a clean punch.
If Silva hits harder than Liddell, that says a lot about the Brazilian, because Liddell literally used to leave fighters frozen inside the cage with his ferocious knockout power, which is why one man in particular, who is notorious for scouting MMA fighters for boxing fights, was also very impressed by Silva's smooth transition into boxing. In fact, that man was so impressed that he ended up fighting the Brazilian months later.
Anderson's 46 years old, and I thought he did an incredible job, man. He was sticking, moving, bouncing around the ring, having fun, was throwing combos. He's long and lanky, and to come in there and beat, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who's got over 50 wins in the ring, is a world champion. This just goes to show that MMA strikers are also great boxers, and I think a lot of people forget.
Throughout his legendary career, Anderson Silva has shown time and time again why he's one of the greatest fighters ever. He could take on anyone, anywhere, at any time, and in any type of combat. He is a true martial artist through and through, and a pretty terrifying one too. Where do you place Silva in the GOAT rankings? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.